Hey guys, thank you for watching the SlatRock channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon to get notified every time we post a new video. And if you've already done so, just make sure that it's still active. Here's your news for September 11, 2019. We're starting off with some news from Bray Wyatt today. As though The Fiend didn't appear in person on Raw this week, that changed after SmackDown Live and 205 Live went off the air. In a dark match, Wyatt took out the B-Team to a huge ovation by the Madison Square Garden crowd, and this is just the latest huge reaction Wyatt has received since returning to the company. After 205 Live finished, the Eater of Worlds decimated Curtis Axel and his real-life brother Bo Dallas in a match fans were told about during a SmackDown commercial break. Though the match lasted only a minute and finished with Wyatt applying the mandible claw on Bo, this was more than enough to get a reaction from the crowd. As the lights went out, and when they came on, Wyatt was on the stage just like he did at SummerSlam to another ovation from the crowd. Though he doesn't have a match for this Sunday's Clash of Champions pay-per-view, fans should consider the possibility of The Fiend making his presence known, as no matter who wins the Universal title main event between Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman, the champion will face The Fiend next month at Hell in a Cell. Over to SmackDown Live now, and though Eric Rowan tried to explain his recent actions, the former tag team champion didn't exactly do a good job. In the long promo, Rowan stumbled his way through explaining why he's been attacking Rowan and Reigns, blaming the fans for his actions. Fortunately, the segment was saved by the big dog himself, and while the pair brawled through the crowd, Rowan even threw a fan at Reigns to escape a beatdown. Not only that, Rowan also launched a very large camera rig at the face of the former world champion in what is just the latest piece of equipment the Eco Warrior has hurled at Rowan. Obviously, the fan being tossed at Reigns was a plant, as there's no way Rowan would remain employed if he did start attacking the fans for real. Though it's practically guaranteed that Reigns will beat Rowan this Sunday at Clash of Champions, the brawl at least introduced some doubt in the minds of fans. SmackDown Live took place in Madison Square Garden this week, and the world's most famous arena is no stranger to main event players. Over the years, superstars like Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, Triple H, The Rock, and Shawn Michaels have all main evented at the Garden, and now you can add Chad Gable to that illustrious list. Originally scheduled to face Elias in a King of the Ring semifinal match, an injury would see the singer-songwriter be replaced by Shane McMahon. McMahon knows all about controversial tournament wins, capturing the title of Best in the World last year, and it seemed he was going to do the same last night. McMahon even appointed Kevin Owens as guest referee, promising to lift the $100,000 fine he gave the prizefighter if McMahon won the bout. Instead, Gable defeated the Best in the World in what was a shocking win for many reasons. The match actually ended in seconds when Gable got a quick pin, but Shane restarted the contest as 2 out of 3 falls. Despite some dodgy officiating by Owens, Gable would get the second fall of the match, making the Best in the World tap out to his ankle lock submission. Winning to a thunderous cheer from the crowd, those fans in Madison Square Garden weren't the only ones pleased, as WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle would congratulate Gable on Twitter. Thrilled to see the ankle lock be used, Angle said that Gable would become the next king this Sunday, as the two Olympians clearly have a bond. As for Elias, it's been reported that his injury is legitimate, and that Shane replacing him was a Vince decision to rally the crowd. Now, Gable will face Baron Corbin in the finals this Sunday, with the winner being crowned the 2019 King of the Ring. We're looking at Raw now, as the appearance of Stone Cold Steve Austin didn't help drive up this week's ratings. This week's show drew an average of 2.13 million viewers, down significantly from last week's 2.5. To be fair, the show did have some stiff competition, with the 7 p.m. NFL game on ESPN drawing over 13 million viewers, and the late game a respectable 10.6 million. Breaking the numbers down, Raw started off with the Rattlesnake officiating the contract signing between Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman, with 2.36 million homes tuning in. By 9 p.m., that had dropped to 2.18 million, and though Austin would reappear in the main event, the show's 10 p.m. spot saw just 1.85 million homes tuning in. Though Raw didn't have the best ratings, they at least avoided an appearance by Enzo Amore, who teased showing up at the show just like he did at Survivor Series last year. In November, Amore made a scene in the crowd before being quickly ejected, and after a video by the Certified G, WWE weren't prepared to take any chances. Instead of showing up though, he stayed at home and watched football with his family, though later deleted the video where he said this. It seems that the former Cruiserweight champion simply teased a Raw appearance just to get a rise out of WWE, because that's definitely what a healthy person who claims they've moved on from their past job would totally do. On to some sad news now, as legendary tag team superstar Brian Knobbs has been hospitalized, and a GoFundMe has been created to help with the costs. The campaign organizer, Fred Young, said the Nasty Boys tag team wrestler is suffering from an infection that will require an expensive total knee replacement. According to Young, all the money raised will go to Knobbs and will help him cover everyday costs like food and rent, and also help his wife, who relies on her husband's income and has health issues of her own. A statement on the GoFundMe reads, "Life can sometimes take a pretty big heel turn. An example of that has hit my good friend and wrestling legend Brian Nasty Boy Knobbs. Health issues are common in this industry, and Brian has endured many, all with his positive attitude and nasty smile. But recently he has suffered a debilitating infection in his knee, calling for a total knee replacement. With little insurance to cover his most basic health needs, Brian is now facing major struggles to cover the minimal everyday costs like rent, food, and a means to get around. He is literally facing a 3 count. His wife has been suffering her own health issues for years now and depends on Brian's income from independent shows and conventions, jobs he can't do in his current status. Brian has helped so many people throughout the years and is a very prideful guy, but his back is against the wall, and until he can regain his health and continue to work, he is very low on options. It could be months before he could be back in action. Brian doesn't want to ask for help, but he could use a tag at this time. I humbly ask all his family, friends, and fans to donate anything you can to help Brian as he goes through this trying time. As we know, this could be any one of us at any time. All donations will go directly to Brian, and I know he'll appreciate any help you can give. Thank you." He may have been a nasty boy in the ring, but nobody deserves to be in the pain Knobbs is in, so hopefully the GoFundMe will give him some peace of mind. From one tag team champion to another now, as one half of the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Alexa Bliss, has apparently been the victim of hackers. This has clearly frustrated the goddess of WWE, who told hackers not to bother, tweeting out a series of images from her Snapchat to save them the trouble. When one fan implied that any X-rated images of Bliss had been sent to the cloud instead, the petite powerhouse said how she didn't use the cloud, as it seems Bliss thought of everything. With superstars like Paige, Charlotte Flair, and Maria Kanellis all being the subject of personal photos being leaked, it seems Bliss is taking no chances, though that probably won't stop these hackers from trying. From WWE to AAA, as former UFC star Cain Velasquez has earned a lot of attention since showing off his wrestling skills at Triple Mania. While speaking to Ariel Helwani, Velasquez confirmed that he's been in talks with AEW and WWE, saying the discussions with the latter were, quote, going pretty good. When asked about the possibility of joining All Elite Wrestling, he said, "I've talked to AEW. I've talked to them a little bit, so I want to talk to them a little more. I think they are doing great things. Now that I've started watching a little more pro wrestling, I think AEW is doing some really cool things. And they have had a good relationship with AAA as well, so they have a lot of guys going to AAA and back to AEW. And AEW does a lot of like lucha stuff, you know? They do a lot of lucha wrestling, which I think is pretty cool. I really like what they're doing as far as the wrestling aspect of it. I think they have really good athletes coming in, really good showmen, and they're doing good things right now, yeah." Though Cain joining AEW would be interesting, it would be even more shocking if he became part of the WWE's roster. MMA fans will recall that Velasquez handed Brock Lesnar a pretty tough loss in the Octagon 9 years ago, and could do the same very soon. It'll be interesting to see where Cardio Cain goes from here, as it's clear this story is far from over. While we don't know whether Velasquez will join WWE, one superstar who recently made his main roster debut was Kushida. Appearing on 205 Live, the Japanese sensation was the mystery partner of Jack Gallagher, as the pair teamed to take on Akira Tozawa and the Brian Kendrick. In a hard-fought match, Kushida eventually got the win for his team, making Kendrick tap to his Sakabura lock, formerly known as the hoverboard lock. Joining WWE earlier this year, Kushida made his debut at NXT TakeOver New York, appearing in the crowd, and has worked a handful of matches for the developmental brand. Kushida also recently appeared for Evolve, facing off against WWE Cruiserweight Champion Drew Gulak for the title, but in a losing effort. Prior to joining WWE, Kushida was a huge act in New Japan, capturing the IWGP Junior title 6 times and wrestled his final New Japan match on January 29th, losing to Hiroshi Tanahashi. At the age of 36, Kushida is already a huge star and has plenty of years left in his career now in the WWE. And finally today we're looking at a segment from SmackDown Live, as WWE Champion Kofi Kingston and Randy Orton continued to build to their championship match this Sunday. When the New Day star decided to take a trip down memory lane, he was quickly interrupted by Orton and the pair started brawling. During the brawl, Orton ended up in the crowd, and though the Viper has never been at a loss for words, what he said wasn't exactly appropriate for television. While berating his Clash of Champions opponent, Orton tried to decide what he considered more fake about Kingston, saying, "I don't know if it was those dreadlocks or that phony power of positivity shit." Though the last word was bleeped for the audience watching at home, the crowd inside the Garden popped hard for it, showing that though WWE may be PG, they can still push the envelope. Considering how heavily scripted WWE promos are these days, it's safe to assume that the line was written with the intention of bleeping it out. This isn't even the first time that Orton and Kingston have fought like this, as older fans will remember the pair battling on Monday Night Raw in 2009 in the very same arena. Meeting on the November 16, 2009 edition of the show, Orton and Kofi would once again battle in the crowd at the world's most famous arena, with each man delivering some sick chair shots. Fortunately for Kingston though, he was able to get Orton on a table and deliver a huge boom drop from the railing, something he's no doubt willing to do again this Sunday in order to retain his WWE Championship. Though Kingston may have gotten the advantage in 2009 though, the Orton of this year is arguably the most vicious he's ever been, leading many to believe we'll see a new champion crowned this Sunday at Clash of Champions. Well guys, that's our news for today. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you like this video, don't forget to check out our previous video, 10 huge, shocking WWE 2019 rumors you need to know about. Also check out our other high-rated videos by clicking at the upper right-hand corner or down in the description field. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and the bell icon so you don't miss a single new video. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and as always, thank you for watching.